Hey guys, it's Caitlin, the dietitian from New South Wales Athletics, and today I wanted to chat to you about a few nutrition considerations for recovery and immune support for athletes during winter. So, at this time of year, athletes are often experiencing an increase in training volume or load due to post competition season and getting ready for the next season. They're probably also managing a heavy schedule with work or school, and they can be more exposed to injury or illness during the colder months. So, all of these combined are going to put a lot of stress on an athlete's body, and that's going to make it even more important to make sure that they're recovering properly so that they're making the most out of their training adaptations, they're reducing fatigue, supporting their immune system, and being able to turn up healthy and consistent to their training and everyday life. So, over the next few slides, I'm going to go through a few different points or nutrition considerations to help with recovery and immune support during winter. So, number one is prioritizing sleep. Now, sleep is really, really important to support recovery, adaptation, and immune function. Now, there are going to be a lot of factors that are going to impact sleep quality and time, but there are also a few nutrition strategies that you can keep in mind to support your sleep. So, number one is avoiding going to bed either overly full or overly hungry. So, trying to time your last meal when possible appropriately so that you're not going to bed and feeling uncomfortable because you're too full or waking up at night because you're feeling hungry. The second one is to limit large amounts of caffeine later in the day. So, caffeine has a half life of about 5 hours, but is going to impact individuals differently. So just timing that according to what's appropriate for you. But for many people, they like to have their last caffeine intake around 12 to 1 p.m. So it's not disrupting their sleep. The third one is to make sure that your last meal or snack is balanced. So making sure it's not too high in saturated fat or sugars because these can change the way your food is digested or how that energy is released, which can disrupt sleep. So making sure that that last meal or snack is nice and balanced. For other people who want to further optimize their sleep, consuming some specific nutrients or foods within about an hour or two before bed can actually support your sleep. So, either magnesium, tart cherry juice, or kiwi fruits have been shown to improve sleep quality or the ability to fall asleep. Okay, so next we can look at a few key nutrients that we want to really prioritize at this time of year to support our immune function. So, number one would be vitamin C. So we find this in things like kiwi fruits, citrus, berries, capsicum, or frozen fruits or veggies. So trying to choose things that are either in season, like your citrus fruits or kiwis or berries, or things that are frozen, so our frozen fruits or veggies, because they're going to be a little bit higher in that nutrient density, particularly the frozen versions, because they're snap frozen. So they're really retaining all of those key nutrients that we need. The second nutrient that we want to focus on is vitamin D. So, again, this plays a really good role in supporting our immune health. But during the winter months, there's often reduced UV and sun exposure, making deficiency a lot more common. So, during the winter months, depending on where you live, you want to aim to have about 15 to 30 minutes of sun exposure every day just to make sure that you're getting all of your vitamin D in. And the third nutrient we can focus on because of its role in our immune system is zinc. So that can be found in things like red meat, seafood, whole grains, or fortified cereals, or nuts and seeds. So making sure that we're really prioritizing these key nutrients during winter and this off-season period can be really, really important to support our immune health. If you do start to get sick, a good supplement that you could consider taking is the Pillar Performance Ultra Immune C. So this has vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc in it. So it could be something to consider at the onset of having a cold to reduce the severity or the duration of a cold. But obviously, individual requirements will be different. And if you're unsure, it is always recommended to consult with a health professional like a sports dietitian first. So, number three is focusing on hydration. Now, as the weather starts to cool down, sometimes our water intake can reduce due to a reduced thirst mechanism, but hydration is really, really important again for our immune function, as well as things like recovery from exercise, exercise performance, and concentration in day-to-day life. So here are a few tips to help you keep up your hydration in the colder months. So first one is try to carry a water bottle around with you just to encourage that regular sipping across the day. Aim to get halfway to your goal by lunchtime so you're not having to play catch up in the later part of the day. And remembering that some of our warm drinks can count towards our daily hydration goal. So things like herbal teas or soups can contribute to our fluid intake. All right, so the last consideration is, of course, focusing on our recovery nutrition. So, what are we eating after exercise? Not only is this going to help with repairing our muscles and restoring our energy that we just used, but it actually does support our immune system. So, not consuming the right amount of food or the right types of food after training can also put some stress onto our immune system, meaning it's going to be more likely that we get sick. So, we want to support our immune health by making sure that we're getting in some good recovery nutrition after exercise. So we want to focus in our recovery meal on carbohydrates, protein, fluid, and in particular color. Now we always want to focus on this, but this is again super important at this time of year because it's going to give us those key vitamins and nutrients to support our immune system like we discussed a few slides before. Because it's going to be a little bit colder, you might want to consider some warmer meal ideas such as porridge with yogurt and fruit, soup with toast and cottage cheese, chicken and rice bowls with veggies, pasta bakes, or toast with eggs. So, as we know, winter training can place more stress on our bodies, making recovery extra important at this time of year. So, we want to make sure that we're focusing on prioritizing sleep, supporting our immune health with key nutrients, staying hydrated, and refueling after training properly so that we can perform consistently across the year. So, hopefully, you were able to get a few key tips and tricks to support your recovery and immune health this winter. If you were looking for some more personalized support, you can use the code on the screen to receive 20% off your initial dietitian appointment. Otherwise, I will see you next time.